Well, hello everybody and welcome to the Mind Body Studio. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm your host Tracy Lee, molecular biologist, holistic health coach, best-selling author and international speaker, menstrual cycle specialist for women and girls, and founder of the Divine Feminine Sisterhood. So you're going to be joining me every week and my very special guests as we cover a range of topics on health, relationships, spirituality, women's issues, self-care, science, and so much more. So sit down, grab yourself a nice warm drink, relax, and enjoy. We're so glad you're here. And welcome back, everybody. And oh my gosh, it took me 3 takes. I'm just putting that out there right now to get this intro sorted. But we're here today with the beautiful Debbie Brady. Oh my gosh, I love Debbie so much. She's such an inspiration. She is a beautiful person, a mum of 2 gorgeous kids. She's very passionate about health and educating people about her journey and sharing everything about her journey so far, particularly after she was diagnosed with Hashimoto's and cancer back in 2020. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But she's joined us here on the couch to share her story about healing and share with all of the listeners her wealth of knowledge, because I feel like she just has so much to share with so many people, and I know that so many people are going to be able to relate to today's chat. So we are incredibly blessed to have her join us, and we're going to talk about multiple different alternative therapies, including these incredible Life Wave patches. So if you haven't heard about those before and this is what you're jumping on to hear about, we are going to cover that topic as well. So without further ado, hi Debbie.
Hi Trace, how are you?
Good. I'm so excited that you're here and joining me on the couch.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
Exciting.
I know. And I want to start at the beginning. So let's go back to, actually, you know what? Tell us a little bit about you first before we jump straight into all of that stuff. How you going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Have you had a busy day?
I have, actually. My days are always busy. It starts probably 5 in the morning, dropping my son over to Brook to rowing.
Yeah.
And then it just starts from there, and then it just doesn't end.
Because you got 2 kids, right?
2 kids.
And you're a stay-at-home mum.
Yes. And very busy stay-at-home mum.
I think that we really underestimate or undervalue it, right?
Yeah.
What it's like to be a mum.
Yep.
And running
Such
around.
an important role.
Such an important role. And because you've got kids in high school, so you're running around. They're finishing exams and stuff now as well.
Yeah, one's starting exams. The other one's not quite there yet. She's still probably got another couple of years before that starts.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we met on a mother-daughter retreat.
We did.
That was a few years ago now.
So much fun. It was so good.
What a great experience that was as well. And I feel like everybody that was there genuinely, like every single mum and every single daughter that was there was completely on the same page.
It was crazy. They all understood each other. And yeah, we were all very like-minded, including the kids, which was really good. And they were little.
They were so little.
They were little.
Oh, my daughter was only, what was she, like 6 or 7
Yours
at the
was
time?
The tiniest. So much
yeah.
better.
She was the little.
She was so tiny.
Yeah.
She was the one that everyone looked after.
It was really cute watching
cute.
that.
Yeah.
Like mother-daughter retreats are just so beautiful, and having the opportunity to really bond with your child, but also to share in that sisterhood circle, you know, and be around other women, like-minded women. And I think that is probably, like, I'm still friends with so many of the women.
Same. Still friends.
Like, and
we all got on really well.
So well. And yeah, like a couple of us are going camping this weekend for
know.
school holidays.
I know. I was kind of going to go, but I'm busy, thank goodness.
I know. Well, you know, you've seen my disorganized. Like, I'm super organized usually. And, you know, when it came to, and my partner last week, he's like, so how do you feel about going camping? Do you feel like you're organized? And I'm like, I have a tent. Like, that's a good start, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to come over and help you.
At least you've got a house to sit in. You've got something to sleep in and sit in.
And I'm really looking forward to it because we're staying on a farm with lots of animals, and I know the girls are going to love it and have a great time. And, you know, it's just good to get out in nature. And, like, I think as humans and, like, where we are in this lifetime right now, we really don't appreciate everything that nature has to give to us and the natural remedies out there.
Yep. And the lessons.
And the lessons and all of that stuff. And so going back to nature is a big thing, a big lost tool, you know, so to speak. But
I agree.
Let's get into it, Debbie.
Okay.
Let's start at the beginning. Like, tell me everything. What happened in 2020?
So 2020, I got diagnosed with cancer. I'd actually been, so what's happened, I guess, we were actually on a holiday, my family and I were in the States, and I developed, we were actually on a plane. We're actually just arriving, actually. Do you want me to tell the story?
Yeah.
So, we were just arriving to New York, I think it was. It was cold. And as we were the plane had stopped, we were unpacking, grabbing our things, literally walking off our plane. And I went to go speak. And when I went to speak, for some reason, my voice all of a sudden had this husky, loud, some funny voice and this like noise before my speech would come out.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was weird. And I was like, did you hear that? And they're like, yeah, what was that? And then as we walked down through the tarmac, it kind of happened again. And it was really strange. I thought, I must be coming down with something, which is strange for me because I don't normally get sick at all. And so that was it. And then through the night, it was fine. And then in the middle of the night, my body prompted me to get up, to cough. And when I coughed something out into my hand and it was, pretty dark. So I just went to the toilet and then realised I had blood. And I was like to my husband, oh, I'm bleeding. So I've just coughed up a heap of blood and something chunky. So I just grabbed this chunky piece of whatever it was and just threw it into the sink. Didn't think any of it and tried to just rinse it out. Didn't think anything of it. The next day, my daughter had woke up and went to the bathroom and she said, what's that in the sink? And I was like, what are you talking about? And I didn't realise. I didn't even think about it. I know the night before I thought I've washed things down. But it turns out whatever I coughed up was still left in the sink. It was too big to, obviously, I didn't know, this is dark.
Yeah.
And when I picked it up, it was just like a big piece of tissue-looking substance. It was thick and thick.
Yeah.
It was tissue, literally tissue of something inside. And I kind of kept
sore? Sorry to interrupt. Did you feel any like?
No, I didn't. Nothing. It was weird. It's just this cough. So obviously, the air in the plane, the pressure, I reckon, created it to move. Maybe that's what I think's happened. And then, so I remember taking photos of it. I've got it in a tissue and didn't know what to do with it. Anyway, the holiday went on and we were fine. Like nothing sort of happened. It felt like I had a bit of a cough. And then it was sort of it. Completely forgot about it again. And then when we got home, it's interesting, I completely forgot about it. So we left, we'd been gone for 4 weeks, I think. When we got home, the universe obviously prompted me to remember because I didn't have a good night's sleep when we got home. We got back from our, the flights, got up really early and started doing my washing. And then when I went to go outside to go hang out my clothes, there's like this little step. This is in my old house. And when I went to go step, I obviously forgot about the step. I'm not sure, but I tripped. And when I tripped, I rolled my ankle and I heard it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I don't go to the doctors. Hate doctors, don't believe in them. I mean, they're good for reasons, for different things.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've got reasons for that.
Yeah.
So I've gone and put my clothes up, whatever. I went through the whole day and my foot just kept getting worse.
Yeah.
And I was like, kept thinking I'd sprained it. And in the end, I rang my husband. I was like, I think I've done something wrong to my foot.
Yeah. Your guides tripped you.
Yeah. They completely led me to the doctor. They made me go to the doctor. I had to go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor that afternoon and they x-rayed me. And I remember my brothers had rung me and they said, don't forget to tell the doctor about what happened to you over in the holidays. Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So I went to the doctors, he went to x-ray me, and I completely forgot to tell him. But as I've walked out his door, like I walked out of his office, I remembered. I went, oh, I meant to tell you something. I meant to show you something. And look, I like this doctor because he's looked after my kids when they were little, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so he does know me. And he goes, what is that? And I said, I'm just going to quickly show you something. Showed the picture that I had took, and he goes, oh, we need to do an x-ray on that.
Yeah.
So he quickly organised x-rays as well so that I'd get x-ray on my foot. Turns out I did sprain. I had a fracture, like a little fracture. Mm-hmm. And we did the x-ray. So I went to do the x-ray that afternoon, and when I got inside, did the x-ray, came back in, quickly got dressed. Within seconds of me getting dressed, I had them come back straight away and said, oh, we really need you to come back. We need to do another x-ray. And I was like, oh, what was wrong the other way? And so your doctors asked us to do something else. okay, it wasn't X-ray, it was a CT, sorry, an emergency CT.
Yeah.
So I was like, I knew straight away, I was like, oh my God, that's not good. Why do I need to do an emergency CT? And it was very quickly when you got cancer, everything moves very fast. So I ended up having been sent he said to me to go see a lung specialist. So I went to see a lung specialist. My husband was he was actually planned to go back to America for something. I can't remember what it was now. And he did come to this appointment with me, and this doctor said to me that it may be either lung cancer or could just hopefully maybe it's not, could be just something, we'll just check it and see if there's any cysts or something like that going on. So they book you in, go to the hospital. I ended up going to a hospital. He put something down my chest, went for a test, and he reckons that when I came back from it all, that every time they went in there and they kept poking it, more blood, there was blood that just kept coming out of this, whatever it is they were poking into. And in my head, I'm like, oh no, they've made it worse. That's what I kept thinking, that, oh no, they've made it worse. And they just kept poking it. He goes, every time I kept poking it, more blood and more blood. He goes, we really need to investigate it. So it turns out they called it stage 1 cancer, stage 1 lung cancer, small cell carcinoma or something like that. And I remember, so it goes really fast. They make you go see a surgeon, everything. This is what it was for stage 1 anyway. So I go to see this surgeon, and he goes and talks to me and my husband about pretty much cutting me up, going in there, cutting this and that. We're going to have to cut the top lobe of your lung and your mid part of your lung. Everything was so surreal, literally like the massive, super shocked. I was like, how the hell, why me? Like, I'm the healthiest person ever.
Yeah. Did you ever smoke?
When I was younger, I did smoke.
Yeah. I think we all, right? We all went through that phase.
But I was
in the
told
90s.
many times actually by that first doctor, the lung specialist, this is definitely not smoke related.
Yeah.
It turned out apparently that I've got this rare ALK lung thing.
Yeah.
Happens in young people.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just remember being super shocked, still wanting him to cut me up, and I'm so against all this stuff.
Yeah.
At this stage, I've learnt about what chemo can do. I already knew because I was in the process leading up to this. Before that, I had Hashimoto's, and I was really learning all the natural things. I had this innate wisdom about going back to the old school way.
Can you just, for the listeners, tell us a little bit about what Hashimoto's is?
Oh yeah, Hashimoto's an underactive thyroid.
Yeah. So
they say that it attacks the body, and a thyroid is really important because you need that for a lot of things, and it grows all sorts of things for you inside your body. I was very lucky. I had a very low dose, but I got it checked out because my sister got checked out, and apparently it's more prevalent. It happens if you've got it. If your sister's got it, then more than likely the females in your family have got it, is what they say, right?
It's very hormone based.
Yeah,
very.
So that was another journey then. And back then I knew that I wanted to holistically try to work out why the hell did this happen to me.
Yeah.
And I did lots of different things. And to this day now I'm fine. I did go on thyroxine, but I was already on this journey. And part of the journey was about the cancer stuff and the cut, the burn, the poison, and it coming back and it being, it can work in certain ways for people, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's this massive chance, and the studies show it, and the oncologists will tell you as well, the ones that want to be honest to you about it, is that you'll get that regression.
Yeah.
Get that regression. Some people are lucky not, but it can happen. Yeah. So, so I just remember falling in a heap on the floor after leaving that surgeon's office, literally boiling. I think I was screaming actually. Yeah. Because I was like, there's no way these people are going to cut me up. No way, Sheldon, I can't do this. Sorry to say my husband's name. Okay. But, yeah, look, but we ended up doing, my husband was like, well, you got to do it. You got to do what you got to do, blah, blah. So I agreed to that reluctantly at the time.
Yeah.
And, reluctantly wanted to do, they did that. Anyway, so I went off and did that and then decided, okay, I've got to work out what I need to do from here. What do I do? They also said to me when I cut that out that they wanted me to do aggressive chemo. Yeah. That for me at the time, that was just a hell no. It was a very hell no.
It's really
stage 1.
Because I'm just completely engrossed in your story.
Yep.
And at the same time, I cannot imagine like getting this news and then all of a sudden it's just like full life changing, like in that moment, right? It's like you have to do this and this and this, and it's like, whoa, hang on 1 second, like that's I don't agree to all of that. I don't want to do all of that. Like I live my life so healthily, and all of a sudden you're asking me to kind of bombard. Like this is what I'm feeling, right? It's just like, whoa, I feel like
you have to make a real big decision. It's really scary.
Yeah,
it's really scary. It's really scary. Look. Because they make it look like there's no time. And there is time, but everyone's got to do this at their own pace. I've learned to slow down about it all because obviously my cancer came back.
Yeah.
But I got cut open. I definitely didn't do the chemo. I said no. I got harassed for weeks every single day. I had the reception ring me. It got to the point the actual oncologist rang me. This oncologist I hadn't met yet. It's interesting because they don't do it because they won't, you know. And I kept saying, well, tell the oncologist to give me a call. Because she kept giving me excuses of why I have to come in, blah, blah. And I said, tell him to call me. He refused to call me, and then one day he called me. And I said, why do I need to do aggressive aggressive chemo? Because we need to make sure we get rid of all of it. I'm like, it's stage 1. Yeah. We don't need to do, I don't think we need to do aggressive. He didn't agree. I said, look, I'm going to do my own thing. So I went and did some water fasting. I'd learnt it. I went off and found a coach that understood it, who did it with me, and we did it. Now, I ended up coming clear, which was awesome. Yeah. And then, of course, I did regular scans. Yeah. Now, I had no idea. I didn't realise anyway at the time. I didn't think. I didn't know anything else. Yeah. But I got scanned just my chest. Every time I got my scan for a chest. So that's cool. I always kept coming clear, and I did my water fasting, then I stopped.
What is water fasting? So
water fasting's hard. Yeah. So water
just
fasting,
briefly,
back then.
Yeah. What is that all about?
Yeah, water fasting. Look, water fasting I don't recommend. You can't just go doing water fasting. It's a big thing. It's very taxing on the body, but it can be really healing. It can really reset your hormones in the first 3 days. Yeah. It's basically what they call cell autophagy. What do you call it? It's autotophagy. Autotophagy. That's right. Autotophagy.
It's where you call it's programmed cell death.
Yes. So
it triggers the cells to die.
Correct. Yeah. Yes. So we can do that. It does that. So just to keep it short, I mean, you need to prep before it. You need to drop, if you are a person that eats lots of meat and dairy and all that stuff we need to slow right down beforehand, really prep the body. There's lots of different things we need to do. But, it's basically just it was done so that I can create a cell death to my cells. Yes. Yep. Yeah. So that was pretty cool, and that worked really well, and I had time to do it. But I didn't continue to do it all the time because it is hard work.
And how long did you do that for? Like, what was the period of time you were kind of doing that?
Yeah, so to start with, I only did it 3 days. I did 3 days. The goal was to do 3 days and more as far as my body could take it to start with because I was very new at it. Yeah. I'm a little person.
You're tiny.
Yeah, so I was light. Yeah. So, and then went on from there. So I went up to 5 days, and then you have a break, and then you go up a bit longer, try to go to 7 days, and you just do that. Yeah. I think because it was stage 1, it felt like it was a bit easier. I'm not sure, but anyway, I can't remember how long I did it for in the end. Yeah. But the thing is, a year later, it came back in 2021, literally exactly a year later, and I was like, so what happened was the way I found out it came back is just pain in the body, pain in my right side, in my leg, my hip. It was kind of my hip, and I couldn't stand on my hip anymore. Yeah. Went on for months. I kept ignoring it because I kept thinking I did something in the gym, even though I didn't think I had. But somehow I convinced myself it was something obviously in the gym.
And so the lungs are clear, but now
the lungs were clear.
Yeah, but now something's happened in the hip.
Yes, so it basically metastasized, which is what happens with cancers. And it metastasized into my bones. So it was pain that I had throughout my my leg and my hip, that it got to the point that it was so debilitating that it was locking up my abs, and that I took myself to hospital, got checked in, said to my mum, I can't go to bed tonight. I said I'm going to be in so much pain I can't move. Yeah, wow. And when it's debilitating when you get cancer pain. It's so painful. Yeah. So. Yeah,
I can't imagine.
Yeah. Look, it's. I let it go. But it got to the point where I just couldn't stand on my leg. I just couldn't, and then the body just makes you stop. And then so you go in there, they do scans, and they said, "Oh, we found cancer." Yeah. And I was like, "No, that can't be right." And I had literally done a scan. I had done a scan. It was like, I don't even know, it was like a few weeks, a couple of weeks before. I had literally done a scan. I was like, no, I can't. That's impossible. I'm completely clear. Because they're like, it's all over. It's massive. So you are riddled with cancer. You've probably got 2 weeks to go. And I was like, no, my scan was clear. That doesn't make sense.
Wow. Far out.
So it turns out they scanned only half of it. And I was so livid because I was like, oh my God, if I knew, I would continue doing what I was doing. Anyway, oops, sorry.
It's okay.
Continue doing what I was doing. And anyway, so I had 2 weeks. And that was when I was like,
so they gave you a diagnosis of you've got 2 weeks to live.
2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And then I remember my husband later on when the doctor had left, because I was apparently being rude, because he was saying, because the doctor was giving me 2 weeks, it's all over. I had a big mass in my belly. So like apparently the size of a football. I assume a little mini football. I don't know. It was all through my entire spine. It was in my iliac bone. It was in my leg bone. I had it in my shoulder. I think it was my right shoulder. I had it near my liver. I can't remember now. It was everywhere. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And Sheldon's going, Debbie, you need to take this seriously. And I was like, the body's amazing. It knows what to do. It knows what to do. It knows how to heal itself. Because I was on this journey already. Yeah. And I was like, no, the body knows what to do. It knows what to do. It knows what to do with itself. And it wants to heal. So he left and he goes, yeah, you were rude to that doctor. And I was like, I wasn't rude. He tried to tell me that I was going to die in 2 weeks. I'm not going to die in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's a load of crap. So, yeah, and then that was it. From then on, obviously, they gave me painkillers for the pain, drugged me to my eyeballs like I was a sick person. And it was really eye-opening. They put me straight away into a cancer ward and kept me in the hospital for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I wasn't sick.
Yeah.
To me, I was like, I am not sick. Mm-hmm. I didn't look sick. I didn't feel sick. I just had pain, yes, but I knew the body was going to be fine. So I went straight into like healing mode, delegated. Yeah. And to this day, I'm so thankful of my brothers and sisters. And my mum and dad, they went to work. They literally, like, I'm the luckiest person in the world, and they're still to this day, if I need something, God, they were so good. And I just delegated and said, right, this is what we need to do. We need to. I did not eat the food in that hospital.
Yeah.
I made sure, and I got them to go to Kmart and buy bottles of water, the big glass water, and I made them go to my house and fill them with filtered water and brought them home. And I went healthily, made sure that I do whatever I did at home, I did in that hospital.
Yeah.
And I think I taught a lot of lessons to those nurses, and they were amazing. Yeah. Like, they were really good. I was telling them, these things you're telling people that they're dying. Mm-hmm. These people around me, I could hear them coughing their lungs out. They are walking like they're dying. They're walking around like they're dying because they believe you. And you're telling them they're going to die in 6 months. They will die at 6 months.
Yes.
What the hell are you doing?
So this is a part of it I want to pause because mindset.
Mindset's huge. My mindset was massive at that time.
And you're such an inspiration with this because your mental self just went, no, I'm not having that.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And that is huge. It meant mindset is massive. Mindset is massive. And if we start believing in that, then believe it. Because if you believe in that, that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The body is amazing. It knows what to do itself. It's got this amazing innate wisdom. Yes, I had cancer all over me, but it wasn't going to kill you. It's not going to kill you. It's a messenger. And I've learned that. I learned that before that at the time, and I know it even more now. It's definitely a messenger, and it's definitely a messenger because it keeps messaging me. Cancers have come back, bits and pieces back and forth with me, and I'm now on this journey. I did meet this amazing coach who reminded me, but then got me to put it into perspective, put it into practice, about mindfulness and about the stresses in our environment. And just stresses in our environment can generally create that cause of disease in our body.
Yeah, and it can manifest in different areas based on energy as well, right?
Yeah.
So, what you feel or what you're going through and the emotional traumas and the energetic traumas, it starts manifesting.
Yep, 100%.
And so what happened after those 4 weeks that you were in the hospital for?
Yeah, so after the 4 weeks at the hospital, I got to meet my cancer coach because I had already organised the cancer coach, which I wish I had spoke to him originally the first time around. Was on this diet, went straight onto this diet. So I actually had started the diet in the hospital. So everyone was like, I would get calls from the hospital telephone like, you haven't been ordering your food. I'm like, oh no, I'm good. I've got people bringing me food. And we started this low methionine diet. It's a completely different diet that I've not tried before. And to starve the cancer. And they worked really well. Within the first 3 months, I had got rid of most of the cancer.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so mindset, foods, and that's what I did.
What was the diet? You said it was a low what?
Low methionine diet.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
So it's low methionine foods. We alternated it on. We would do for 7 days low methionine, and then you could introduce a little bit of stuff back, like your pastas and breads, in the next 7 days. But good quality stuff, of course. You can't just go still having your processed stuff. It's really important. But that's what's happened. So
that was back in 2021.
Yep.
And so you left the hospital. Mm-hmm. Where was your cancer at when you left the hospital at that point? So whilst I was in hospital, obviously they wanted to do some treatments as well. So I was offered. So I am a little bit against a little bit of medical stuff. I just feel that medical stuff can do the opposite that they're supposed to do. Yeah.
They're telling you need this and that's going to give you this to stop you from doing this. But then the very thing that's stopping you from doing it, it's probably going to give me something else, but probably the same thing that I'm supposed to stop it from, it's going to make it worse. That's my view. I feel it works for me, and so far it's been working for me anyway.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I was offered, because I was on diet straits, yes, after speaking to my cancer coach, he said to me the way he does things is that we should do both.
Yeah.
So that was really hard for me at the start, and so we did. So I ended up going on a tablet that they've offered me, so I was happy to do that. But they wanted me to do some sort of form of radiation because I had so much going on in my spine and in all areas. So yes, it was probably eating me up, so there was something I had to do. So radiation was the first point of call.
Yeah.
They wanted me to do traditional radiation, so they took me to this other hospital next to me to go talk to this lady about radiation. That was a dead no for me as well at the time because I knew there was another alternative, and that was cyberknife.
Yeah.
Cyberknife being radiation too, but more a targeted radiation. I think it's come from Germany, this machine, which looks like a big robot thing, really.
Yeah.
And you just lay on this table and this thing just comes over you and it's mapped. They create this mapping and it's used that way, I guess.
It's very localized.
It's very localized. Yeah. So it's basically, cyberknife is a localized treatment using radiation, very low dose. That target is the actual tumor, let's say. And when they target that spot, they go around the outer edge as well, generally.
Yeah.
So yes, it's going through the body as like a laser beam looking thing. That's what it looks like to me when I'm on that bed. But it goes directly on that spot. And it's going straight through the body, but literally on that spot.
Yeah.
So what it's basically to say, what my understanding is that it's not touching any other healthy cells. Mm-hmm. So whilst I was in that hospital, I was trying to, they try to convince me that the radiation they were doing was safe and that it was the same thing, the exact same thing as cyberknife, when actually, I know it wasn't.
Yeah, because you've been on this whole journey with this, right? So you've done so much research on everything. So there's kind of no fooling you. Yeah,
there's no fooling me.
No.
I mean, I need to see everything. I need to understand what's going on, and the knowledge. Like, there's so many people that don't know about cyberknife, and they don't even give you that they don't give you those options.
Yeah.
I mean, to get out of the hospital to go to Netherlands. I went to Netherlands. I ended up going to the private clinic. Cyberknife is apparently at one of the hospitals as well. I'm not sure if it's privately or if it's public. I'm not sure, but I know there's the private one. But to get out of the hospital to go to that was a mission. That was a mission. Eventually, so someone had to...
You mean it was a mission because they wouldn't let you go?
They didn't like me going. They wanted me leaving the hospital. To leaving the hospital, that was a map because you were a cancer patient. You're apparently dying. You're apparently sick. I'm sorry, but I was not sick. And that just to drive me mental.
Yeah. That must be so hard, right?
And they keep still drumming that you're sick and you're not well. And I'm like, I am well. There's nothing wrong with me.
There's a lot of bad messaging
going on. I have got things going on. Yes, I understand that. But there's lots of things I can discuss that my reasons why I think I got cancer. But
yeah. It's like that's the thing, isn't it? There's lots of different reasons, and why or what might have led you to
There's
that
different
point?
reasons. I mean, there's different reasons for cancers, I guess. I mean, they say things like, they say that cancers are caused from all sorts of things, your environment, what we're exposed to, chemical, not absorbing your nutrients. So nutrient deficiency is actually one of them.
Yeah.
But my thing, I mean, I look back, there's lots of different things that we can look back. There's lots of holistic ways of people saying why people get cancer as well.
Yeah.
And I know one of the things that I learned at the time was, the emotional stuff.
Yeah.
And the first thing I did when I found out it was lung was I needed to look that up.
Yeah.
What was lung associated with? And lungs associated with sudden grief and trauma.
Yeah.
And at that time, I straight away was like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
That's so me. Because the stresses and traumas that I went through many, many years ago got me good.
Yeah.
Like I was so upset and so burnt by something that happened to me personally that I remember at the time when I was going through it, I had this sizzling feeling in my chest.
Yeah.
Right on my right side, which is where my stage 1 cancer was. And it was a sizzling feeling. And look, I didn't get cancer till years later to that. But my thought when I looked this up about what the link, the emotional link to it, I straight away remembered that memory. Like I remembered the memory of having the sizzling feeling I had in my right chest.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So I seriously believe in that.
Yeah.
And when I learned through my cancer coach that the environment is a massive thing.
Yeah.
Because I know when I delegated my brothers and sisters, and I said, can you please book me in with Eddie? His name's Eddie Enever. They jumped on a free call and he asked them a few questions. And one of the questions they asked them was, what's Debbie's environment like? And they're like, oh my God, if you know Debbie, her environment's amazing. She's got no chemicals in her house. She's been like that for like the last 20 years. She understands how to read labels. She eats really well. Like she talks to people about it. Like she wants people to do things the right way because we need to go back to basics because people are getting so sick.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, what's her actual environment like? What's her friendships like? What's her family like? What's her, what's she like? Is she married? Has she got kids? Is she divorced? All those things. And they gave her those. They gave him those answers. But yeah, it's your environment. Sometimes, if you're under such a highly stressed environment or been through such stressful events,
Yeah.
and sometimes that can create a chemical imbalance in the cells. And not saying that everyone goes through that because some people are really good with stress or know how to let it go or know how to whatever they do or just don't take it on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely something that I think might have created my responses.
Yeah, because I think with any sort of diagnosis like that, we're always looking for the answers, right?
Yeah.
We've all been impacted in some way with cancer, whether it's through families being diagnosed, someone in your family or you yourself. And it's really interesting because when my uncle was diagnosed with cancer, so I was really young and he had cancer pretty much through my whole childhood. He was a smoker and a drinker, and so he got lung cancer, he got throat cancer, he got all sorts of cancer. And he died when I was 19. And so I ended up going back and studying molecular biology based on the reason of trying to find out why. Why did this happen? And so, I went to mature age. I ended up getting into uni and I did 3 degrees to try and work out why. Why did this happen? And what caused it? And learning all about cancer. And I will always say that even that was only part of the answer. Learning the chemistry and how cells work and what happens when cancer cells start generating is only one part of the entire picture. And then it wasn't until I left uni and finished all of that and I got out into the world more so, I had lots of childhood stuff happen anyway, but I got into a different position. I was like, there's so many environmental factors. There's so much pain and suffering in the world. There's so many chemicals in the world. There's so many emotional upheavals, and then we get energy as well, the way our body shifts the energy around the body. where it becomes stagnant. And I realized that it's so much more complicated. And that's why I'm inspired by your story, because it wasn't a case of you just refusing. It was because you thought about all of those different facets of what was going on and trying to get to your individual experience and why this happened and how you could heal yourself, and then taking what you've learned and then sharing that with other people, because we do live in this social dynamic where we do only, we get the tunnel vision. There's only one way out, or there's only one treatment, or there's only one protocol, when there are so many different things happening within the body that causes these cancers. And so it might not be the one treatment is going to work. There might be so many other things that need to be explored in order to.
So many things to do. There's so many things we can do.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it is a scary thing, and it definitely can kill. But if we can just do a bit of everything, like I have, if you can just do a bit of everything and really build your immune system, because your immune system is huge. Immune system is also relationships, because we're stressed.
Yes.
If we're not stressed, you will affect that immune system. So we all know that cancer is all about the immune system. They're always on about the immune system, But we, there's so much things to do. And we do need to find the root causes.
Yeah.
And we do need to create new lifestyle changes. There's a lot of things out there that we can do, that I've done. And but you still got to.
It's about, information is power, right?
Yeah.
Having knowledge is power. Mm-hmm. And the more you know, the more you know.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
you don't know something, you don't know any different. You don't know.
Didn't know. That's right.
And so
you don't know what you know.
Yeah. And so getting to really have that reaction of like, oh, fuck, here we go. And buckling down and learning as much as you possibly can. And I take that away from your story and what you're sharing, is that it's that wealth of knowledge is where you need to be. And sharing it with people, because it takes a lot of courage and bravery to talk about your story, because it is such a vulnerable situation. Even though I know you said, I'm not sick, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm not sick. But it's a huge part of your journey in like leaning into all of this, and having to go through so many, I'm sure, sleepless nights and jumping on the computer and like researching and like processing and moving on to the next. Like that must have been so taxing for you, and that's why I call you a warrior, because
it's taxing because you feel like you're on your own. It's hard because you have support and you have your girlfriends, you have your sport and stuff. My friends have been amazing too, but you're still on your own because you are having to do your own research. You're having to do your own. You're having to go off to different appointments and different modalities, and I'm constantly looking for new ways and new natural therapy. What can build my cells up? What can build my energy up? What can build the actual, the voltages of your cells? Because that's what I feel is, things we need to build. But I don't know. Look, you're always on your own. It's hard. And the kids, my kids have been amazing actually. I think because they've seen me go through so much right at the beginning when I went through some stuff, I think they just assumed that mum's got it. She's cool. She's got it. She understands. She knows. Because I just look constantly acknowledging thing. Poor kids. I'm always making sure they're doing this and that, and don't go and doing that. That's going to not going to be great for your hormones, and and that's another thing too. Like a lot of these cancers are hormone based, but when you look back, you need to look back on what you've been doing. Like the chemicals in our house are affecting your hormones, girls.
Yes, xenoestrogens.
Chemicals, the chemicals you put on your face, your skin, and everything. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty close.
Yeah,
and I'm not 100%, but we've got to so look into that. That's all I can say. And our relationship's huge, and mindfulness and meditation and going within and finding those answers too, because going within is sometimes another way that you can get those little answers that you need to get you going.
Definitely.
I know it's harder said than done, isn't it? But
it is, and it does take a conscious decision. Like it does take a choice. You have to choose, right, and move away from the victim mentality and straight into you know, and that can be really hard. Like it can be hard for so many different reasons. But I like what you said there. It's accountability. Yep. And we are alone. That's the thing. We are alone.
We are. We are going to look after ourselves.
Yeah, it is our responsibility, and we are accountable to ourselves to stand forward and to take that step and to take ownership of our life. It doesn't mean, you know, you have to be, you know, a nasty person and all of those things, but you're a priority. You know, people are relying on you, but so you have to make yourself a priority. And I cannot say that enough. Like I feel like I say that a lot on this podcast, of especially for women, like
you need to look after.
Feel so guilty.
That was my
you have to, because you can't look after anyone else if you don't look after yourself. You have to.
Yeah, you need to love yourself. I've learned that now.
Yeah.
Because I'm learning that a lot right now. Right now, because my cancer came back again.
Yes.
And I know it's the environment thing and all that sort of stuff. But then I was doing some more spiritual one-on-one counselling and some other inner work as well, removing some stored traumas and stuff. But I always get told by these people all the time, you know, you need to start loving yourself. And I'm like, yep, I get it, no worries. And a lot of the time I walk off thinking, so I don't know what they mean, because what am I doing wrong then, you know? And then one day I asked, what do you mean? I asked both of them, what do you mean that I don't love myself? Like, I think I love myself. You know, if I want to go get a facial, I'll go get a facial. If I want a massage, I'll go for a massage. If I want to, you know, I think, you know, I look after myself, I dress nice, I go to the gym. I must love myself, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, you actually don't. And they told me direct, which I already knew deep down really. And they told me direct and they said, no, you don't. And I was like, why? And they're like, because look at the way you let people walk all over you. And look at the way you let people talk, the way they talk to you. And even your kids, like what you're allowing them to do. And I was like, yeah, I know. And they're like, until you start to love yourself, until you start to do what you love to do and you look after you as number one and actually feel into it. Like when someone gets you to ask you to do something and they ask you to go for coffee, let's say, and you're like, I can't be bothered going today, or I don't really want to go. If you feel that, then do it. That's loving yourself.
Yes.
And I was like, oh yeah.
People pleasing.
And I didn't realise. And I did not realise. I was like, oh, that's what you mean by love yourself. I was like, fuck it, I'm not doing it then.
Yeah.
So now I actually take a breath and I go, if I feel like it, do I feel like it? No, I don't feel like it. Well, I'm not going then.
That's why I'm glad you're here.
I'm going to eat it.
Because you wanted to come here.
I know. So I know, right? Do I feel like doing this?
Yes.
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'll come.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's that. So now I always do that. I ask myself, do I feel like doing it? Does it feel good? Does it feel good to want to do that? Do you feel like going out tonight? No, I can't bother tonight.
Yeah.
Why not? And then I'd ask, why not? Oh, I don't know, I'm tired. And another thing, because the other thing I'm doing too is because my body needs rest. Your body needs to slow down. So if you've got something going on with you as well, anything, sickness of some sort or some disease in your body, you need rest as well.
Yeah.
So I need to slow down, and I've learned to slow down by just asking myself, is this what I want to do?
Yeah.
Yep.
Going back to having more simplicities in our life and saying no.
Really simplifying.
It's a massive thing I've learned too over the last 2 years as well. I totally hear you because it does. It feels really, really good because I was the same. Like I would say yes to everything, or I'd say yes, or I would leak energy everywhere because I'm doing stuff I don't want to do when I'm saying yes to things I don't want to do. And then I'm getting sicker.
Put boundaries up. You've got to put boundaries up. Because people just push and pull and grab and take and ask all the time. And I love helping people. I love doing stuff. So it's not that I don't want to do that, but I'm just going to learn to now just feel if I feel like doing this, am I doing it? okay, if I don't, okay, well, I'm not going to do that. Or have I done too much today? Because I know that I'm trying to slow down. Okay, well, I'm going to love myself today and by sitting at home earlier today and not do what I'm supposed to do.
And I want to say something about bad behaviors as well, like accepting bad behaviors from other people, like repeatedly without saying no. And that, like, you know, pulling someone up on something that's a bad behavior, and it works both ways, right? Because you're not perfect, right? None of us are.
Yeah.
But saying, you know, giving them the opportunity to change the bad behavior, but then if they do it again, having the ability to say, this doesn't work for me anymore, and I'm just going to move away. Because there is that, you know,
that's loving yourself.
Yeah, the social structure of you have to be friends with so many people. You have to have, like, you are nothing unless you have connections with like big groups of people and lots of people like you. And the one thing I've learned, like I've learned a lot of stuff, right? But over the last years, that my circle's really small and I only have people in it that I actually really want in my circle now. Like everything else, like there are so many things that have closed off, like even right up until the last couple of weeks ago, where it's like everything has shifted so much and all these circles are closing. And because we're, you know, I love a bit of astrology and I know you do too. We're moving into the age of Aquarius, right? So it's like, this is what's going on, people, like we're shifting.
Yes.
You know, and that's happening really soon. Like we're literally talking weeks away. And all of these circles are shifting. And we are getting really focused on who gets a seat at our table. Like how much access does someone have to us? Like, and if they're just, you know, stealing your energy or taking things away from you that you need to heal yourself, then no, thank you.
No. Yeah, it's all about loving yourself. I think it's massive. That's my lesson.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly learning, but that's my lesson. That's for sure.
And so let's wrap up with like talking about these really cool patches, because I'm wearing mine today.
Yes.
And I want to hear
love these things.
And because this is part of it. You've been through such a massive journey and you are all about sharing your wisdom and knowledge with other people. And you have so many stories about working with people and helping them heal, and, you know, there's so many that like we don't have time to cover all of the stories because you've got so many of them. But and I know that your cancers come back, so you're working really hard on yourself, no doubt, with that at the moment too, right? Mm-hmm. But let's talk about these awesome patches.
Yeah, I've got these patches, I can't believe I found these. I didn't find them, my naturopath found them. So when my cancer came back, I'm good friends with this lady, who's my naturopath obviously, who travels the world everywhere. She just travels a lot for her work. And I ended up sending her a message to let her know what was going on, because for some reason this had come back and I was like, this is so strange. Why has this come back?
Can I ask where? Again? Like, where has it come back?
On my spine and down one of my legs. So I've got this problem leg that when it comes back goes on there.
So you were clear for like 2 years or something and then it's just come back now, or?
No, there's been spots that have come back.
Sure.
This is where I've just had to do lots of this spiritual thing, where I've now had to just really try to learn the actual lesson, which is loving myself. Yes. So I'm good at this now. So I feel like I'm good at getting rid of the cancer. Yeah. It's like I said, the cancer coach said to my brother and sister, my sister and brother-in-law, when they did the interview with him, and said that if her environment is not good, her cancers will keep coming back. Yeah. And I was like, oh, every time I heard that, I was like, oh. And it's so bloody true. It's so, I could do all the things, and I do all the things that are healthy. So like when my cancer came back, I was like, what the hell? And I was like, okay, obviously I'm not absorbing nutrients, because I know that's one of the main things, right? And chemicals, all sorts of stuff. And I was like, I'm obviously not absorbing nutrients. That's what's going on. It must be. And so I've rung Maria, and I hadn't spoken to her in ages because she'd been travelling, and she said to me that, so I'm telling you a bit of a story leading up to patches.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, oh my God, I was just thinking about you. She goes, I've been praying about you and wondered how you've been going. And she goes, I want you to come to conference with me. And I'm going, yeah, I'll come to conference. Had no idea what she's talking about, but she knows that I love everything health and learning and all that sort of stuff. And she's helped me along the way with my journey too. And then I said to her, no, I've rang you for a reason. And I said, I'm really sorry, but my cancer's come back. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I know, right? She goes, I was like, I think I'm not absorbing nutrients. It must be. Now I go to her because she does live blood analysis. She's really good at it.
She does live
blood analysis.
Yeah, the scientist in me is like,
yeah, you love it.
Awesome.
So cool. Really good.
Wow.
The blood can't lie.
Yeah.
The blood, it literally tells you what's going on. So she said she wanted to catch up for coffee. And I was like, that's right. That's what she said first. She wanted to catch up for coffee. And I was like, no, I've got something to tell you. And I told her about the cancer. So then we organised to catch up straight away. And I think it was like a couple of days later I'd seen her and we did the clinic. She had a look. I went to some retreat beforehand. I'd seen her, some health retreat. See my blood. And she's like, oh, my God, you just come from a retreat and your bloods look like this. And I was like, what? I was even shocked. I was like, what? Because I'm used to doing the bloods with her. So I familiar to know how the screen should look, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my God. So anyway, that's fine. I went home that day.
So negative. So there's something going on in your blood.
Yeah, the bloods you could see obviously had cancer.
Yeah.
There was toxins. It was so weird.
High white blood cells and lots of
yes,
things.
there wasn't too, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And it was weird and my cells were sort of stuck together. I couldn't understand it. I could not believe it.
Yeah.
So again, stresses. It's the only thing. Every time I think, oh my God, I've got to slow down again. Stresses get me all the time. And this is the thing, your environment, right? This is what I've learnt, guys, by the way. Calling everyone guys is funny.
Yeah, no.
So anyway, so what happens, I went home that day and I have a heap of supplements that I was taking that was supporting my cancer stuff that I was doing and all sorts of things that I was doing, lots of different modalities. Anyway, I went home that day. I grabbed every single supplement and I threw them in the bin. I went, that's it. I'm doing something different now. I'm going to go super basic, go back to normal. I knew that I could do this. The body doesn't want this. I know that. Did that. She gave me a couple of supplements to do instead and a few essential oils as well, right? And anyway, she had sort of touched on these patches as well. So that was the reason why she wanted to call me as well. She had told me that she was going to tell me about these patches. And she had sent to me that night a couple of videos and instantly I was like, oh yeah, these are pretty cool. Yeah. Because they were patches using light therapy, your own light basically, and stimulating the body so that the cells start to work better and your stem cells and the body can go to heal itself, like literally go to heal itself, which is huge.
Yeah.
And because it was about infrared and light therapy, I instantly understood it because I have saunas at home and yeah, I know what it does for the cells. It can get rid of the bad cells and create new cells. Anyway, obviously because we did the diagnosis with her, completely forgot about it. The next day, or the next night, or through that night, my leg was playing up. So obviously it was really, really sore. I was in so much pain. Okay. And through the night, it just throbbed. And it's a leg that's happened before where my muscle has been, it's like the leg and the muscle and the bone's been a bit damaged. So anyway, the next morning I messaged her going, hey, what's going on with those patches? We haven't spoken. Can you tell me more about these patches? Yeah. My leg is in agony. What's going on? I said, can they help me? And she's like, yes, come back to my clinic. And she told me exactly the patches to get. So I went straight away, went to the clinic, grabbed these patches, had to wait till she finished work that night. And then over the phone, it was about 4:00 in the afternoon. By that stage, my leg was throbbing, that I was starting to panic. It was in that much pain that I couldn't stand on it anymore.
So you were going back to that old trauma response, that hospital one.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So it was in heaps of pain. It was weird.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, no.
Other
and
leg
if I ring
this time?
Same leg, left leg, yeah.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
And I remember thinking, if I ring the hospital, if I ring the doctor, they're going to tell me to go to the hospital. And if I go to the hospital, this is the story I was saying to my husband.
I can see it now.
I say my husband the same story, and I told my priest the same story. I said, if I ring the bloody oncologist, they'll tell me to go to the hospital. And if I go to the hospital, they'll want to give me drugs. And then they'll treat me like a cancer patient, and then that's it, I'm dead. Yeah. That was exactly what I said. This is it. Yeah. They will kill me. Yeah. And like everyone thinks I'm dramatic about it, but it's the fucking truth. Yeah. They would have thought, shit, they treat you exactly like each other because I've been there now and I know exactly they treat you the same with everyone. Yeah. And they would have drugged me to my eyeballs and said this is her last days. I just know it. Yes. I'm not doing that. Anyway, she gave me this patch thing. She gave me a bit of a rundown what each of them will do. but just follow this protocol. No worries. So I patched him exactly what she said. And I did not have the pain patch. There's one that's particular for pain that can turn off the pain or bring down the pain. And it's all just basically creating a signal through your meridian lines and unblocking the message.
Yes.
All it's doing. It's so good. So I patched it what she did, and no shit, I thought I was losing it because I was like, that's weird. My leg had this change. There was this change straight away, like the edge had come off it.
Yeah.
The edge.
Yeah.
And no kidding, like within, I don't know, I reckon 20 minutes. It could have even been less. Felt so quick that the edge had come off, that I was able to sort of stand on it.
Yeah.
And then I was just limping on it.
Yeah.
That was good because I could not stand on it.
Yeah, wow.
And it just got better and better. And then by the night time, I was able to go to sleep. So I thought, I'm not going to be able to have throbbing, because it's throbbing. No throbbing. The next morning, I was like, hey, have you got that pain one now? I want to try the pain one. So we went and grabbed the pain, turned that pain. And all I did, I was like, I reckon, anyway, the pain had gone. The pain had completely gone.
Yeah.
So all I was left with.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Isn't it?
And so all I was left with was the very sore muscle.
For a patch, by the way. It's
Yeah,
like
these
this
are
little,
few.
like,
I did a few, these
yeah,
ones. There's
wow.
one patch, but I did the whole lot. It's faster, quicker.
Yeah.
It's more deeper. It does different things. So the next day I was just left with that familiar, very sore muscle where I can't, even bend it to stretch. So I just copied what she said and did that every single day on that spot. And she said, just keep doing that. She goes, I don't know what it is. She goes, Debbie, I don't know, but these patches just work. And she told me, there's long stories as well that she told me of how she got introduced to them. But I just did that every day, and then my leg just got better and better. Within 3-4 weeks, it was gone. And then I did it then I patched my back. So I ended up having to do cybin off my spine because obviously I had a little bit come back. This particular spot that came back was, sorry, I've cut you off there.
No, that's the localized. Go back. That's the
localized.
So
Cybin. Yeah, so I was told I had to do Cybin because there was a tumour that came back in my spine, next to my spinal cord. It was in my spinal canal.
Yeah.
So it was really dangerous, a bit scary. And so I had to do Cybin off and that, and I thought, oh no, that's it. My back's going to be, because I've had Cybin off my back, the only thing about it, I eventually found Bowen therapy, but my back was always aching. I couldn't stand up for too long, or even sit. My bones had been damaged a bit. They'd stick out a little bit, and if I'd sit against the back of a chair, just the pain. Yeah. And I'd got better afterwards from that, but it was always some sort of pain, like an ache. Then I found Bowen therapy, which created space in my back. So then I thought I'd found something that was good again.
Yeah.
And I was back at the gym. But anyways, obviously I found these patches, had to do Cybin off in that week, but I've looked after my leg by this stage. And she said, patch the back, exactly what I said to her. I was like, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Do you know I never got any inflammation? Because normally because I was expecting, oh no, I have to go through all can't stand up for too long again and do Bowen therapy until I got better. Nah.
Nothing.
No inflammation came, no pain came. I had flexibility. I still have amazing flexibility. I'm back. My back is normal.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know, it's so random. It's just like, what?
So seriously, I just got better with that. And from these patches.
How long ago was that, by the way?
Back in beginning of May.
Okay, sure.
It was like the end of April, beginning of May.
Yeah.
And from then onwards, I had to find out about these patches. I was like, what the hell is this? So they're just light therapy patches, different types. The guy is amazing. He is a man that is in the world that I'm in, the world that wants people to heal, wants people to understand that the body wants to heal itself, wants people to understand there is other things out there that are not going to, overdo it by putting so many chemicals. And look, there is, like I always said, like we've said before, there is a place for medical stuff. Of course. There is heaps. We need it. We need it for pain. I needed it. I mean, I could have, if I let it go, I probably could have died. Yeah. For sure. 100% I would have died because I didn't know. I would have just kept living and just thought I've hurt myself in the gym. But yeah, look, he he has been around for 20 years. The patch has been around for 20 years. He's got all these different patches. And originally the patches were for energy. So he worked for the Navy SEALs and he's an inventor. Mm-hmm. And do you have time for me to talk about it?
Yeah, keep going. Cool. Yeah.
He's an inventor. So he wanted to be inventive from when he was young. He went to some museum, I can't remember the guy's name, and told his dad, I want to be an inventor too. And he's like, his dad told him, like, you know, it's not really a profession type thing, you know. Anyway, he couldn't understand that because he's like, he was an inventor. He's made all these things. But yeah, he was asked in the Navy SEAL to create something. Obviously, they knew something in him to allow the Navy SEALs to stay up all night because they were using amphetamines, whatever you use.
Amphetamines?
Yeah, sorry, I can't say the word straight.
It's okay.
And so he did, and he created these. And these patches went on to being able to use them on the swimming team. So they ended up going from some guy he knew as well, who was a coach for some swimming team, who ended up using him on them, who created personal bests, who now around the world, these patches are used around the world for energy. And they do give personal bests because I've done them for my daughter and I've also given them to my nephew, and my sister will vouch for this, who has been training but not the best or fastest runner.
Yeah.
But end up coming...
that's my Siri going off.
That's funny. But end up becoming third in a race when he normally would never come third. So it does create, you know, the Olympians have used them. You can see them now. Now I see them. The NBA players use them. They've got on their legs. Yeah. Creates energy, and it creates an energy in the body and it makes you, you know, faster and fitter and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So he created other things too. So there's patches for things like inflammation.
Yeah.
So it's obviously helped my body and for pains. The inflammation patch, basically what it's doing, okay, let me tell you what the patches are doing. So there are patches for you building your own stem cells, actually your own dormant stem cells as they become dormant as we age, which is the reason why we go grey and we look old and we feel old and we feel the pains and we might develop a disease in our body and we're not healing quickly enough and that sort of stuff. So he found a way to create or stimulate the dormant stem cells, which I'll tell you about in a sec.
Yes, I like that. It is. It's a stimulation. Yep. It's like, sending them the
light.
Energy. Yeah.
So I'll tell you how they work in a sec. And there's one for inflammation, which is, there's nothing in these patches, by the way. There's absolutely nothing in these patches. We're using a frequency that, a frequency that you already have in your body using amino acids and crystals and sugars that create a specific wavelength using those sugars in the patch, which stimulate light. And when I'm talking about light is because our body is light and we emit infrared.
That's right.
Yeah, did you know?
Yeah. Well, we have a full-blown electromagnetic field going around our body.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what we are. So if we cut ourselves open, we're light. So
you know that the only thing holding us together as a solar being is our electromagnetic field, right?
Yes.
There's space between all of your cells. So I'm going quantum here.
Love it. Go.
But that's it. That's what it is, right? There is space between every single one of your cells, and the only thing that holds you together as a being is your electromagnetic field, and it's all light and frequency.
Yes.
Crazy. Continue. Sorry.
And if we were light, if only we could all be light, back to our light.
Yes.
The world would be amazing. We would be normal again.
Yeah.
And not talking about health. I'm talking about we will all be so powerful. We would hear our own answers. We would be able to be, you know.
Yeah, the world would be a completely different place. We've gotten sicker and sicker over time, and we've forgotten all of this information over time. And
yes, we've forgotten. That's what happened.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yes, that's what it is. So so the patches have, we have things in our body. So what the patches are doing is they're elevating peptides and aminos in our body, and you know that we start to lack as we age. And when we start to, and what this is going to do is now elevating that back, so we can start to heal ourselves again.
Yeah,
that's all it's doing. So the patch, depending on the patch, will stimulate. We'll put the light back into the skin, and stimulates the skin and putting the light back in there and then stimulating that particular frequency depending on the patch to tell your body to heal itself. Yeah. And stem cells being one of them. And stem cells is everything that make up your body.
Well, it's basically a neutral cell that can be anything it wants to be.
Yep.
It just basically goes, oh, it's on. It's like, okay, well, where do I need to be? Oh, I need to be a muscle cell, or I need to be a bone cell, or I need to be a brain cell, or I need to be a nerve cell. It can be anything it wants to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the things that we start to lack in our body besides stem cells, because the stem cells become dormant. From the time you become 30, we lose 50%. So it's always, I know when I've hit 40, I'm 45 now, but when I hit 40, that's when I start to go, oh, I feel a little bit different.
That's
that's about the age, right? It's the midlife crisis.
Yeah.
So by the time we hit 60, we've lost most of them. So we're down to like 5%, I think, 5 to 10%. So there's things, so that's why we start to feel all those things. But there's other things that these patches include, such as a patch called carnosine. And it's something that apparently we lack the most. And it's found in our brain, our heart and our muscles. So that's been really healing for people that have got Alzheimer's and dementia, or just us with brain fog and brain stuff. But it also helps with all the blood flows, and people that I've had someone that's had an injury to a vaccine. It's been so amazing for a blood clot in his leg. He hasn't been able to move or walk around. And that's helped him immensely because it's helped with the breaking down of the clots because it's found in the bloods. But carnosine's been amazing it's also good for stamina because it increases stamina in the body by 125%, creates massive flexibility in the body as well. We've got the inflammation patch, which raises, actually brings down the C-reactive protein. So it's an inflammatory marker. So it brings that down.
Yeah.
It helps bring down your cortisol. It's the happy patch.
Yeah.
And you do feel happy. Do you feel happy?
Is this
when you wear it?
Which one?
Because you're wearing both of them, by the way.
I'm wearing the
Ion,
the
which is the inflammation.
X39 and the Ion one.
Yeah, X39 is a stem cell.
Yes. As I'm like, yes, stem cells. Let's get
So
all them out.
good.
Come on, let's go. And yes, so my story, I only started just wearing them, maybe 2 weeks ago, I think I started. And the moment that I put the X39 on the back of my neck there on that spot, and I went to sit at my desk to do some work, and I felt all the energy in my shoulders, and I just felt this warm feeling. I was like, oh my gosh, like everything is starting to move. They go to work
the moment they touch your skin.
Straight away.
Yep, the moment they touch your skin, they create 3,000 to 4,000 genes.
Yes.
So people get a really good night's sleep sometimes on their first night. It's not always, but a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But within the first week, there's massive studies on every single thing. But what people are finding is helps inflammation and pains. There are a lot of protocols. I've done a lot of protocols with people who've had really bad shoulders or backs, bad knees, and some people have actually had to have been able to avoid surgery. Yeah. So the moment, just like my legs, and my spine, there's different things they can do. But look, there's brain fog, like they say, within the first 7 days, people start to see there's a change in their brain.
Yeah.
There are the cells are energized the moment they obviously go to the skin.
Yeah.
So there's an energy feeling, like you feel like you've got a little bit more energy through the day.
I feel like I have heaps of energy.
Yeah, heaps of energy.
Heaps.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm like, this is
crazy.
really weird because
strength. Wait till you go stamina, strength. Wait till you start trying to run. Give it. I don't know whether you want to try it now, but you just get stronger. You recover quicker. But the healing, like this is what I wanted to do it for. It almost sounds like hocus pocus. I still to this day, I can tell you a story actually. And still to this day, I'm not unsure. I'm always thinking, oh my God, really? But I'm about to go to convention actually. I'm going to convention. That's how much I'm so happy about them because I'll tell you two stories. I'll tell you my story about me.
Yeah.
When I went back to Maria, so she does the live bloods, obviously they were bad.
Yeah.
Within 3 weeks, I came back and we did it 3 weeks. I was 80% better.
Yeah, wow.
In 6 weeks, my bloods were clean and clear. I could not believe it. I was like, I looked at it and I started filming. I was like, we're going to film this. And I was like, oh my God, it must be God's intervention. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
The only thing I did, remember I threw out my supplements.
Yes.
Was the patches.
Yeah.
And I did some of her essential oil because she's a guru in essential oils. A few of essential oil stuff and a couple of essential oil supplements. That is it.
Yeah, wow.
And then trying to keep my stresses down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, look, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was still dumbfounded. I had a lady, my cleaner, she had a bad back. At the time, I was still new at these patches and I had dived into all the YouTube stuff I could find about David Smith, who's the inventor. And I was like, with all the knowledge that I have, I was like, oh my God, because I rang my priest as well. I was like, I think I'm on the master plan. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, well, all the things that I'm doing because I was doing also at the time ozone therapy, which is another thing to get rid of, just to kill stuff.
Yes.
So I was doing that. He talks about
That's
that.
really great, by the way, ozone therapy.
Really
it's
good.
Very relaxing.
Super relaxing, so good for your body.
Yeah.
Does a lot of things. Look into that. There's lots of benefits of that, sauntering, all that stuff. So I found that, and then just listening to him, like carnosine, that's a great one for pushing out bad cells. It actually helps repair DNA, the bad DNA in your cells. So does X39, same with the stem cells. But then when you're enhancing the carnosine, which we're all depleted of, that's a double whammy. But he talked about cancers, and obviously they're not allowed to make claims. We can't make claims when it comes to anything when it comes to anything natural.
Yeah.
We need to be really careful.
And we have a disclaimer on the end of this that we'll play through as well, because obviously, people need to make their own decision. This is only information. It's one form of information. It's not the information. And, people are accountable and responsible for their own treatments and stuff like that. So we talk about that. So, you do your own research. And if you're in this situation where you have had a diagnosis or you're going through it, then speak to your GP first, talk to your healthcare provider, and then if you want to do more research, then do more research. You're accountable to yourself. So, it's on there, so don't worry.
Cool. Thank you. And look, there's heaps of research. We look up LifeWave. There's research on everything. They research everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to convention, and apparently there's a new thing coming out, because he always talks about in his stories, in his videos that he does, sometimes about adding some supplements, like adding a bit more copper or whatever he tells us to add if you want to. And because he's all about trying to change mankind and trying to make us better, he wants us to, he actually even talks about things about our soils being depleted. Like he actually, educates us, trying to find the word.
Yeah.
He educates them as well. So apparently there's a new thing that's coming out, and from the riddles he's giving us, it sounds like he's creating a powder of some sort that has all the things that he talks about to enhance these patches as well.
Yeah, awesome.
But there's also another wearable technology too that he says that has had 100% strike rate in the studies.
Yeah, wow.
In being able to help heal.
Yeah, it's just incredible, right?
Yeah, it's
so amazing.
There's so many different things. There's a water that I've started doing as well called Lumivate. It's spelled LUMIVITAE. Lumivate. I'm not sure how you say it, but it does similar things to what the patch pretty much does what the patches say they do as well. Remove oxidization and getting rid of the bad cells and turning to good cells. But the great thing about this water, and the reason why I bought it, it's the only way you can hydrate your blood. The moment you drink this, it instantly hydrates the blood.
Yeah, wow.
And that's huge.
Yeah.
Because with the patches, obviously you need to drink a lot of water, because obviously water is a bit of a conductor, and you need to keep, that's what makes the patches work the best.
Yeah.
But when I found out about that and what that does and how it hydrates the blood, I feel like I'm definitely onto something really good. Yeah. For some really deep cleansing. It will definitely, and with water, this particular one as well, it's got grounding energy in there for the ground. It's got grounding energy in there. It's got the sun energy and a heart energy. Another guy as well that's looking into healing the world as well. Like he genuinely wants to heal the world. I trust his water, but I feel like I'm definitely on to something.
Yay.
The two together for sure. So I'll keep you posted.
So thank you so much for coming and talking to us and sharing your journey.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course.
Thank you.
It's such an inspiration, and I'm really glad we got to sit down and have this chat, because I've been saying this to you for ages to come and chat and to share your story, because so many people need to hear this story, and to, maybe it will plant a seed, and maybe there's people out there that need this exact information to go and start doing their own research and learning more. And so this is just the beginning, of that, and you sharing your story more. So hopefully you can come back and share your progress and what you learn, like what else you're learning too, so we can get that information out to everybody. And I'm going to keep up my patches. I love them. I'm now addicted to them as well.
You get so addicted, it's crazy.
Because I'm feeling so good.
You feel good.
Like my head is clear. I've got energy. My hormones just feel amazing. My inflammation's down. Like I feel really good.
Yeah, they really go to work. They really do go to work. And again, there's nothing in the patches. There's absolutely nothing. It's your work. It's your body doing the work.
Yeah.
And depending on the patch you put, there's even a hormone patch. There's one that stimulates that, regulates the blood sugar level. And another one that's really amazing is the glutathione.
Yes.
So good that supports your immune system.
I love
and
glutathione.
heavy metals, which I can definitely tell you I do not have radiation in my body because of this glutathione.
Yeah, glutathione is amazing.
Super,
Not enough people know about glutathione.
Yes.
Yes, it is. If you take anything from today, go and Google glutathione. I'll put it in the show notes because it is basically soap for your cells. It basically gets in there and cleans out so many of the toxins that accumulate in the cells. It is amazing. And it's naturally produced in the body anyway. It's just that we don't make enough of it.
We don't. These will elevate them. If the X39 elevates it by 300%, but when you have the actual patch, it's 400%.
Oh,
and it
wow.
stays. So with the supplements, I mean, I've been deep diving, so I'm learning all about this, but the supplements you may only absorb I think it's 15, 20%. I can't remember what they've said.
Yes.
But these do that. So they really go to work and they help with the oxidization of the body. There's so many things these patches do. And if you wear them all to create, I feel that it gets you faster result. And then you can look at doing just to get the stem cell one. And the iron, but the stem cell is obviously the main one. That's the main patch.
Yeah, we want to use those before they die.
They are so honestly,
get them out there. Get them out.
Yeah, and it's all about reversing your age and
reverse age. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, it's reversing your age. That's basically what he's doing is reversing your age and making you live longer. That's his thing, so you can live longer.
So if people want to reach out to you, where can they find you? What's the best way?
Probably my Instagram page.
Yeah, I can put that in the show notes if you like.
Yeah, that'd be
great. If you want to touch base with Debbie and find out some more or find out about these really cool patches or anything like that, you can reach out to her on her Insta. I'll put it in the show notes. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we wrap up?
No, but probably just, do your research. There are many things out there, but the one thing that I always tell people is that the body is amazing and it wants to heal itself. It's got its own innate wisdom. And if we give it the right tools, it will heal itself because that's what it naturally does. And we need to go back. And that's why the patches are amazing because it means that we're going back to our original light and we will see and hear what we need to do because you're becoming that now because we're forgetful now because of the way the world is.
Yeah. It's all coming back to that. Thank goodness. Yay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, if you've enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you check out Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star review. Same with Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube. And please share this with your family and friends. So if you have someone out there that needs to hear this information, please, it's a free podcast. So make sure you send this to them so that they can take in any information that they need that's going to help them on their journey. So thanks, Debbie. And
thanks, Trace. Thanks for having me.
And thanks, everybody. And I'll speak to you next time. See you later.
Bye.
The information, views, and opinions expressed on this podcast should not be used or treated as a substitute for nutritional, medical, psychological, or other advice by a qualified health professional. Hosts and guests in this podcast express their own opinions, experiences, and conclusions, and nothing in this podcast should be used to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any medical condition. All information and advice provided is for general well-being and does not take individual cases into consideration. Neither Tracy Lee or any sponsor endorse the opinions, views, or conclusions expressed or shared on this podcast. Tracy Lee takes no responsibility for any symptoms or consequences as a direct or indirect result of this podcast.